your boy, Paul Harris, aka the Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time I post up new content. And the words of the late, great Jackie Gleason, aka Sheriff Buford T. Justice, what we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law. Right now, you look at the title, I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not going to say that everybody has seen it, but apparently, this woman went on somebody's podcast and then actually, like, really disrespecting her husband. And, and so for out of all of the other channels that I actually really saw this clip on, right? All what they're saying is like, okay, yeah, you know, yeah, she disrespecting him as a man, calling him a simp and all that kind of stuff. But my whole deal is, I'm not gonna say that they're not saying why, but my whole deal is, right, you know, you almost got to ask yourself, okay, well, what caused him to walk down the aisle with her in the first place? Because my whole deal is this, and women, just like I said, for those y'all that are married, right, y'all got to beware that, I mean, listen, if you're going to tell a story, right, then you have to make sure that you tell all of the story, right? Because I'm here to 9 times out of 10, I'm here to tell you now. Again, she'll probably sit up there and lie about it, right? But you gotta something spectacular had to be done, right? In order for this man, knowing that you got 3 kids, is gonna walk down the aisle with you. Now you sitting up here, you disrespecting this guy, calling him simp this, simp that, simp the other. Well, bitch, what were you, or what were you with when you met this guy? Because it's quite obvious, if he's a simp, then like I say, if he's a simp, then guess what? You a hoe. Plain and simple. Right? Because I just look at it like this. You got 3 kids. Whether it's by one individual, now if it's all by the same individual, okay, good for you, right? But if they got you got 3 kids with 3 different men, guess what? You have what I like to call community pussy. Plain and simple. Everybody that ran through your ass, right? So when so that's the thing, right? It's almost like, okay, this is what the fuck you doing. You talking, whether you cover up your left eye or your right eye, right? You ain't telling everything that needs to be heard. Just like saying the dude that was doing the damn interview, 9 times in 10, he probably smashed too. Right? So so again, it's just like what I'm saying, right? Don't come on somebody's podcast and talk shit when you old high mileage hoe. You're a high mileage woman with community pussy. Plain and simple. I mean, so again, why are you clowning your husband? Right? Because it's quite obvious that both of you raggedy motherfuckers is stupid. Right? Because it's just like what I say, what was going on. Because see, that's the thing, right? And the guy, now if he said it, I haven't watched the full interview, but my whole deal is, you got 3 of them goddamn rugrats. Right? And so the question needs to be asked, okay, are these kids by the same man, or are they with 3 different men? Right? So it's just like what I said earlier. I don't want to sit up here and sound like the old broke ass rucker. But my whole deal is, right? Don't talk shit. Listen. Don't get mad when you shit on yourself, right? Because you got a loose booty. And it's quite obvious that's what the fuck you have. Just like saying, you can call it community pussy, or you can call it a loose ass. It really don't make no damn difference to the crazy uncle. Just know that when I see you, right? Yeah. You old lousy motherfucker. Now, I was watching this other thing, and they was talking about, well, hey, don't be no stepfather, blah, 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 blah. Right? Well, going back, let's just say, let's go back to the year 1973, the year that I was born, right? My dad, I really don't like using stepdad or stepchildren, because my whole deal is, you took on that responsibility, right? So, for the most part, I know it's the right term, right? But no, I really don't like that. So by another case, Joseph R. Harris, a.k.a. Bozo, right, took me and my mother in, right? And it's just for the simple fact, if I got in trouble, he whooped my ass, right? Because that's the role that you motherfucking play. And so the whole thing now is, women, I'll say, and I've always said this, anybody that was born from 1983 going forwards, right? A lot of y'all fail through the motherfucking cracks, because the laws of actually like how you discipline your kids completely changed. Even the old parents couldn't whoop their own child no more. Now here you come as a stepdad or stepmother or whatever, and you trying to discipline somebody else's kids, right? Then for the most part, that's going to be a problem, because again, let's look at the laws, and then let's just look at the simple fact that whatever the mother puts inside of that child's head, right? It's gonna make all the damn difference in the world. Now, my whole deal is like I say, my first marriage, yeah, I had a stepson. Well, but my whole deal is I don't look at him as my stepson. I look at him as my son because when I met him and his mother, right, he was 2 years old. So that means that he belonged to me, right? So now, did I whoop his ass? No, because I didn't have to, right? Because there's other ways, and it wasn't because his mama said that I couldn't, but my whole deal is I don't want to, not to say that how I was brought up was brutal, right? But you don't want to do to your kids or your so-called stepkids the way that you got done up, right? So it was so just trust me, 21 years United States Army, you come up with some very creative shit that can cause just as much pain, if not something worse, than getting a belt and try to take it to somebody's ass. Because the first time, kids, they'll show do this and all that kind of stuff. And then you tell them to be still, and they're going to look at you like, really? You really want me to be still, knowing what's going to be next? So, but like Joseph R. Harris did it, and I like to say, hey, I turned out pretty well. I did it, and I say that, hey, look, my son did pretty well, right? He's a licensed barber and a licensed chef. Why? Because I stayed in his shit. Stepfather or not, I stayed in his shit, right? So now, just like I said earlier, right? And a lot of y'all probably say, well, hey, well, everybody that was born in the 70s, right, ain't that great either. And I give y'all that, but my whole deal is from 83 on, right? It was a lot more shit in play than what it was 10 years earlier. Right? So, and then as time progressed, right, this shit ain't gonna do nothing but get worse and worse and worse. Because my whole deal is going back to this woman, right? I also gotta, it also makes me think, okay, I'm gonna call bullshit on this because for one, if you married and you come on a podcast, right, and you say that about your husband, don't you think that shit would have got back to his ass now, right? Because I really don't know when that video was made, right? I mean, somebody had to have showed him that by now, And so now, what needs to happen, right? Somebody need to do an update, like quick, fast, and motherfucker hurry. Unless she was already divorced when she did that goddamn interview. See, this is what everybody else, I get it, right? But ain't nobody else saying what I'm saying now, right? Because that's almost like, because when you do somebody like that, whether you male or female, right? That's almost like, yeah, I cheated on you. So what you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do nothing about it. That's pretty much like how that interview went. So I really would like to see an update on that. I mean, because And then, you know, just because, I mean, like, look, here it is, you thinking that you Billy Badass until you ran into Billy Badass. Billy Badass whipped your ass. So it's almost like, yeah, you talking all this shit, but what's gonna happen when it get back to your husband? Plain and simple, right? That's the $64,000 question. What is gonna happen when it gets back to your husband? So, with that being said, hey, guess what? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dad, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa. Motherfucker next door across the street behind the corner, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Holla at y'all.